It's your girl, Carla Yvette. Welcome to Elevate the Good, a podcast featuring organic conversations with good people living an elevated life and loving it, inspiring to elevate the good within you so you would live out loud with good vibes only. Be self-serving with goodness to unleash your greatness. Think the good, do the good, be the good. All things good. So let's get to it.
All right, welcome to Elevate the Good. I have Shawn, My Style Matters Lovings in his house. What's up? I'm so excited. I am so excited. I know I say that every time somebody shows up, but I pick some good people to be on my show.
All right.
So welcome. Thank you.
It is an honor.
And the reason why I brought you, because you totally elevate the good.
I try my best.
In everything you do, you the hype man for everything, and it cracks me up. So like some of the things that I know about you: educator, mentor, author. You're the co-founder of My Styles Matter, a chef and a caterer.
Yeah,
do you technically you do catering, right?
Yeah,
You cater?
yes, I do. I do. That's just a few.
Okay, right. You see what I'm saying? That's why you're here. So, and then for your self-description, because I always ask people to describe themselves. So I pull this off of your Facebook.
Okay.
And I know you want to add some more slashes to it, but you have a Renaissance man, a gentleman, a classic man, and an original man.
Absolutely.
So what is all that about?
I mean, it's really about just being the epitome of a man, and not being raised by one, not knowing what it looks like to be one. I had to discover all of that on my own.
Oh wow!
And so I'm gonna be real transparent. Watching movies and shows back in our day, you saw classic quality gentlemen portrayed versus what we see now. So I kind of had television shows to lead me into understanding what manhood should look like. Had a few folks in my life, but for the most part, it was all self-discovery. I had to just figure it out. Music was a really big influence. Wow. People like my mama loved this. People like the Whispers.
Oh yeah.
I grew up on them because of her making me clean up during those days on spring break. Waking up in the early morning like let's clean up, and it's the Whispers, just blaring throughout the house. And there's other things, Teddy Pendergrass, and I just grew up on that love music. Right. So I fell in love with love that way.
And also, they were stylish.
Exactly. So
I mean, they were definitely stylish, which I know is your thing, which is why you're Mr. My Style Matters. Right. So tell me about Mrs. My Style Matters. How does that happen?
I mean, okay, it's a crazy story. I've been best dressed all my life. I was best dressed middle school, best dressed high school, best dressed college. I was Mr. Jackson State in '93. It was like a little contest.
That's Jackson State of Mississippi.
Jackson State University of Mississippi. Yes. Okay. So I won that during my collegiate years, and then turn around and win Best Dressed Man in America for Esquire Magazine in 2006. I was like, there's something to this. I've been doing this all my life. It's just who I am.
Now, I just want to interject, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. So you did that though while you were technically a homeless person?
I was homeless when I won Best Dressed Man in America. Yes.
Okay. So how does that happen?
It was crazy. I mean, that was just a real low point in my life, but dressing always kept me mentally prepared.
Wow.
Even when I was in disparity, my head was like, after the day is over, I'm like, man, what am I about to do? How am I about to do this? And I broke it down. I used to sleep in the airport. You remember the turnabout area, the little round area where all the people. I would always carry my luggage. I'm gonna break it down for y'all real quick. I would carry my luggage with me everywhere I went. So people just kind of thought that, because I used to travel with Esquire Magazine when I was working with them. So I was still technically working with them as a contractor, and I turned around and it was just rough, with my ex-wife, my wife at the time. We separated and just trying to figure out life, and I ended up losing almost everything, everything pretty much, and making a decision to separate my family. So in that process, I didn't want to leave because of my daughter. I just wanted to still be here and be present in her life, regardless of what I was going through. But I used to use the airport until they caught me. I would take the last MARTA train to the airport, get off at about 12:31 or something like that time, and I would just go to sleep right in the little area where all the people who were waiting to catch the next flight in the morning or whatever, they had a layover or whatever.
Right.
I slept right along with them on those little chairs. For a minute, I would go back and forth, and they recognized me, and they, so I had to leave there. And then also
That was pre Homeland Security, right? So,
yeah,
exactly. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. But even though still, I bet you I can go do it right now. You really don't, because they don't technically walk around ask people for,
right.
you know, your itinerary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can still do it, but I always had a suit on. So I always looked like I belonged. I didn't look out of place. Like, okay, who this homeless cat up in here trying to steal a space? You know. So in that process, I would even to eat. I would even go to like the Embassy Suite. I owe them. Embassy Suite, Hampton Inn.
Shout out to Embassy Suite.
Hampton Inn. Because again, I would walk in and I'd still be suited. I have a paper that was about 2 weeks old. I kept the paper with me. I walk in the mornings. I would always go early.
Right.
Like about 6:30ish, I'm going in. You know, and I'm good morning, everybody going in with myself. Hey, who you gonna really question me?
Wow.
I look like I belong here, like I'm getting ready to either come in or I'm about to leave out, but I'm about to go have breakfast.
Right.
So I would go in early enough to have cooked order breakfast. I still ate good. Man. And that Embassy Suites did that one. Shout out to y'all again.
Right.
But I did that in college. That was one of those things where you got dressed in your pajamas at the party and go to the hotel,
you go to right.
And then come back home and go to sleep. So it triggered, dang, why don't you do that now? So that college experience of tricking off and doing that stupid stuff helped me later to figure out that, just get up. And I would take fruit and stuff like that, put it in my bag, bread, bagels, all that kind of stuff that'll keep me energized.
Right.
And to this day, I worked at, I sat on the board for the National Black Arts Festival, and none of them know, but I helped them procure sponsorships, all that. So working with people still kept my mind moving, and I still stayed creative. But when the dark fell, oh my God, it's like I got to figure out what I'm gonna do.
But you didn't give up. That's the thing. You never gave up.
No,
that's definitely been a renaissance, man. I mean, because you got real creative.
Yeah, I got to figure it out. And,
man.
And one more thing. So back to the Esquire whole thing was, the guy asked me, he was like, hold on, man, did I hear you right? You just walked across this stage and won Best Dressed Man in America for Esquire Magazine, and you homeless? And I told him, I said, well, look, let me explain something to you. I said, I'm gonna show you something. And so I had on some Ferragamo shoes.
Wow.
But they had holes in the bottom.
Wow.
So I say, now I'm gonna show you something. I said, I held my foot up and I showed him. And he's like, I said, well, you know what? I look at the top of them. They were shining. I always had the little sponge shine.
Right.
I kept that with me. I always kept my shoes shine. And he was looking, I said, you never look like your situation.
Boom.
So walking across the stage, they don't know what I'm going through.
Right.
But all they see is what's on the outside. And they see a man smiling, they see a man hitting the runway, doing his thing, and they didn't know that when this is all over, unlike them who have somewhere to go, I don't.
You didn't.
I had to figure it out.
But you elevate the good in yourself every day just to make that thing happen. So with that being said, so then it transitioned into you starting your own business. Well, I know some stuff in between.
Yeah.
But,
well, Style Matters came from that.
Right.
Through another partnership with my little sister Jessica. We were trying to do the kind of same thing that Esquire was doing, but we was trying to do it online.
And that's My Style Matters.
That was just called Style Matters.
Style Matters. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So My Style Matters did convert because look, we black folks, some of us, but not only say black folk, people, we don't really know or understand business when you're trying to start something that you got to do a search.
Right.
To see somebody has that name.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So somebody had Style Matters.
Gotcha.
So fast forward a few years, my now partner Tia Tomlin, we sat down and I was like, we can't use it. So we came up with My Style Matters.
Okay.
It's like, why not do that? Because every time you wear our brand, it really is saying your style matters to yourself.
And it gives them that confidence that you could have when you were dressing up.
So, but that is our brand, though. You still wear my name.
Right.
My Style Matters.
Right.
But you identify with yourself and saying, my style matters. So
break down My Style Matters. What is it? Because it's a nonprofit, correct?
We started off as a straight T-shirt company.
Oh, okay.
We did that first. And we sat back and was like, wow, man, we weren't getting the love on the T-shirts. So we moved a lot of them, but it was still like we wanted more, but it just didn't happen. I'm like, okay, well, can't let that get us down. So we then turned around and said, well, look, why don't we start a nonprofit? My our business partner, we were coming up with an idea to do something for prostate cancer, and pitched it to American Cancer Society, and then they asked the VP. They loved the concept, and it was called the 5K Suit Run.
Yes.
Where we were running in suits in the city in the fall. Don't be tripping.
Of course, it's you with a suit.
You know,
right.
You know how that is. If I have one out here running right now, you die. So we chose to do it like in November, although prostate cancer is in September.
Right.
But because of Movember and all that, and we just had to use cooler temperatures to actually put the run on. To me, it really doesn't matter because cancer is every day, all day.
Right,
so
exactly.
We just wanted to still do it during the cool months of the year. And we pulled the first one off, and then in that process, my business partner, Tia, was diagnosed with cancer. And so it was like, okay, wow, breast cancer. So we was trying to figure out how are we going to, we'd already signed. We signed on to do this. So it was like, okay, she can't really help. She's going through chemo and trying to be a caregiver for her with her parents, and then the other team members doing their best to help facilitate. We went through a whole lot to put that run on, and I appreciate all those that did come out. We're about to start it up again. We had to revamp it and make some changes, and it's going to be even stronger moving forward. But that was a hard time, and that's how the nonprofits piece came, because being a third party, we couldn't receive funds when you're working with someone like this. They would get the funds, they had to distribute to us, but we weren't out here procuring the funds. So I was like, no, this don't sound right. So I felt like, what we did, we were like, we got to do this right. Yeah. So let's just start our own. And so that's what we did. We started My Style Matters, and Tia kind of took on the birth side of like Kick Cancer. That's one of our programs.
Now it's Kick Cancer.
Kick Cancer.
C-A-N-T, sir, because she does not believe in cancer. Because now let's state for the record, is she in remission?
Yes, she is.
Yay, Tia! So, I know that. I just wanted to put it out there in the universe.
Absolutely,
you can't cancer. What is it? You can't kick cancer.
Right. So with that being said, in that program, so it was like it was a kind of a difficult movement because I work more so with kids, and so we was like, okay, how are we going to do this? Put two organizations that have two different missions in a way, but we worked it, we tailored it to be something of a healthier lifestyle. So it's all about lifestyle, and what we're doing, and then we just benefit cancer patients from Kick Cancer Side program with cancer care kits. So teaching them about excuse me, things such as like plug-ins. You don't want those in your home. Those it's carcinogenic. So like getting rid of a lot of the things in your home that is carcinogenic. Especially you should do that. You should practice that now, because companies are taking advantage of. You're seeing all this stuff in the media about now they're suing people for certain drugs that have caused this. When they know all along.
Even if it's FDA approved and all those things, and it's like on one hand you have an advertisement for it, and then the next thing is the law firms having a class action lawsuit.
It's like educate yourself, and that's what we're pretty much about: education and awareness of the disease. And we do the same thing with kids and teaching them things. I did with the kids from the art of etiquette side. Where I've taken the fact that I was an art major, in college, and fast forward, it's like, wow, I'm here teaching art now, but I'm also that classic man, as you like to say, Renaissance man, who cares about when you sit at the table, you know what to do. My grandmother taught me that, and that's what the book is all about. Mind Management, Mr. Lovings is about a journey of the utensils to the table.
Oh yeah, that's an art that is totally lost.
Yeah, it is. And I know when I teach kids, they start off a little rough and don't want to really do it. They don't get it, but I tell them all the time, it's just exposure, it's just knowing. You should just know. And so then there's systems and there's the hand gestures that I use to help them understand when they sit down, they know where their place is. So it's just really about knowing your place. Everywhere you go, you should know your place.
And then taking pride in how you present yourself.
That's right.
At the same time.
And that's one of the big things about knowing your place everywhere you go.
Now tell me more about the art of etiquette. So you're actually doing like sitting down, teaching them the place settings, when things are served, like how does that work?
Well, all of that. Let me just run through the program piece that I have with Purposeville Schools in Atlanta. I teach in Clayton County schools, but my after school programs are mine, but I also do take the time to teach my regular ed kids
awesome.
too. But the after school program pretty much is where I give the kids, I deal with K through 5.
Okay.
So I give those kids an opportunity to learn from me about how to do all things, such as sitting down at the table, identifying the utensils, how to set the table, how to greet a person coming through the door, how to pull out the table for a young lady. They go through a lot of different other exercises as well about manners. I teach them those things, not chewing with your mouth open, not even cell phones, because some kids have cell phones too, or parents hand them the cell phone. I want them to know that's not cool to do at the table.
Yeah, you need to show too.
Exactly. We are a bored society. Everybody needs a quick something to just take their mind off of something. We can't sit and talk to each other.
Right.
I need a distraction, and that's what that is. It's a distraction. And when on dates are out, I put mine away. I really don't want to sit. I want to have the conversation. I'm
about to say the art of conversation in itself could be a class.
And being very organic about the conversation and not, oh man, you see this look.
Right.
It's what we get a lot. We want to laugh at what we see. It's like, damn, so where's the creativity in your conversation?
Right. I got you.
So that's why with what I do with the young men, and I do girls too, but mostly with these young men, I'm trying to prepare and I'm trying to get to these athletes to look at what I'm doing. Like, pull me in. Let me just do a section of this with, I always think the boys got to throw a football. They got to know how to eat.
Right.
Like, I watched something, Dallas Cowboys is my team. I watched something on YouTube just the other day where they had a big dinner with all the players. Elbows on the table. It's like, come on, man.
I know you were like, stop.
Right, it's like, come on. Y'all ain't been taught. It's okay. I'm not trying to take you from the hood. I'm from the hood, and I still know what to do. It's just being polished. Just polish up a little bit, man. It's not, I got to tell the high school boys, it's a whole lot of sexy in being mannerable. It's a whole lot of sexy in being a gentleman. And you get to identify women who don't appreciate your gentleman and be like, nah, she ain't for me.
Right.
That's the same thing they'll do to you if you was on some old crazy stuff, sagging pants and all that. Like, nah, he ain't for me. But some of these women accept it.
Right.
All of us, we accept all kind of things and think that we can change people. Well, I mean, that's possible, but that ain't what I'm really trying to do. I just want to encourage young people to be a little polished and just have the resources to know when you go out,
Right.
They can't look at you like you're the Neanderthal.
Right.
You know exactly what fork to use, how to move in. They're like, wow, okay. They think they're on some stuff and that they're amazed at us for knowing.
Right.
You can feel what you want to feel, but I'm on my stuff.
Exactly.
So.
And, with that being said, because I remember growing up, my grandmother, we're both from St. Louis, shout out to STL. So anyway, we would go downtown on the weekends to Famous Bar, the department store, and go, right, you've heard that a lot of time. And, they had the fancy little restaurant downstairs. They had the cafeteria, but we would go to the fancy restaurant. And my grandmother's thing was, my grandbaby is not going to be ignorant. That was her thing. I didn't understand it at the time.
Right.
She didn't have a lot of money. She was a maid all her life, whatever.
And
but her thing
was too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Literally.
Yeah.
And so, but she, worked for folks in, out in Clayton and, them big houses or whatever. So she was exposed. Might be brothers and sisters. Right. So, she was exposed to certain things that she wanted to make sure I was exposed to. So, like you're saying, the table settings and the cloth napkins and the linens and, how to order off and stuff. And then it wasn't until I was an adult that I could look back at, like, the pride that she had when she was able to offer that to me. Because, my friends call me bougie, which cracks me up. But it's like, I laugh because I think I see it sometimes, but because I don't want to be judgmental of other people, but I do see it and I appreciate that. And with that being said, one thing I love about what you do in Elevating the Good in the Babies, when you start your day at school and you have the mirror and tell the folks, what do you do with the mirror?
Well, the mirror was I actually took that this year.
Let me tell what you do. Okay. You hold it up and you say I am.
And then they have to
fill in the blank.
They have to basically fill in the blank, and it's amazing how they don't know. They look in the mirror every day, and nobody has taken the time to tell them you're beautiful, you're smart, you're courageous, you're creative. Like I'm a good sister.
I mean,
I'm a good what? Oh.
When I saw that, it literally gave me chills just to
man,
see it, because it's like that's where it starts, your identity, your sense of self and pride and worth and value.
Right. Well, with that being, and reason why I did that too is because all the bullying. So a lot of times they don't know who they are, but then other people will put who they are, they'll make up who they are and give it to them.
Exactly.
And then they're sitting there like, is that who I am? And that's why the suicide rate is going up with our babies, because they don't know who they are.
Right.
So in that process, when I do that, those kids get I'm training them to take a real good look in the mirror, because they scared to even look at themselves. Like when I held it, I had to hide behind it because they're looking at me. I'm like, no, look at you.
Wow.
Recognize who you are and discover your strengths. And so forth. So when those bullies do come on, that ain't who I am. I don't get. That's all it takes. And their parents get confused about why they bullying my baby. Why aren't you teaching your child to know who they are?
Right. So now, have you seen the progression of?
Not yet. Not yet. Not totally.
Okay.
Not totally.
Okay.
I think it's going to be. This is an all-year process and an all-year invention that I created to just see what these kids are going to do.
That's
how they're
awesome,
going to become. And then that's something that I'll probably adopt in a lot of the other things that I do, even with adults. It's like they need to also take a deeper look, because some of them are just as lost too and hurt. And,
right. And that's one of some of the things that I started this vlogging in the mornings on my walk, kind of by accident, but that incorporates those type of talks.
Right.
Just looking at yourself, because I was realizing I'm looking in the mirror, really didn't see myself, and I'm acting, modeling, doing all this stuff when I'm just throwing on makeup and keep it moving. And I realized one day I was like, I never really look at myself. And then that goes into like, do you really know who you are? And it's like, am I living who I really think I am? Am I living with someone else that's projected onto me? And that kind of thing. And so with the kids not knowing who they are, a lot of times they're living an identity where I just put a vlog out the other day. They're filling in the blank because they don't know. Right. And you're making up a story that could be very self-destructive. It could be so untrue, so many misunderstandings, just straight out lies. And it's like adults don't even know who they are, and then they throw in that confusion onto their kids, and then it's just this vicious cycle. And hurt people hurt people. And good people bring out goodness in other people. So that's why Elevate the Good is like, a thing.
I have something that happened 2 years ago with a teacher. She recorded. I posted this a couple of several months ago actually. And my first program with the kids at my school, this was kind of like I hazed them, hazed in a good way, where I set up and had friends. I'm gonna give my shouts out to my girl Bobby over at Harold's Chicken. She donated the chicken for the boys. I set up a long white table, cloth, everything outside for the kids, for the boys. I had 25 boys. Oh wow! And they all had to set their table. Like they all carried out their plate, their knife, their spoons, their everything. They all was together in uniform, and they had to walk out and they had to set their table. And they all had to line it up properly. So that everybody's matched. Nobody was off. Everybody's it had to match. There's no, your fork down here hanging off and your knife up there. And so everybody had to be uniform when they set their table, because I taught them. Right. So in that process, it was this whole thing where after all of that was over, the teacher, one of the teachers, Miss Brumfield, she walked by and she saw me having these conversations with the boys. She saw them crying. She saw them very emotional about what I've done for them. And for me, it was like, I'm just doing it because it needs to be done. And I'm not, and it got me when I started to see the emotion. But when I saw the video, she took about 4 of the 5th grade boys that I had, of the 25, she took them away and she recorded them and asked them questions. She interviewed them like, so what was it like, why are you so emotional with what Mr. Lovings is doing for you guys? They were like, Mr. Lovings is like a father figure. And I didn't see any of this coming, because that's not where I was mentally. It was just doing the work.
Just being
I sat there and watched it, was like, dang, man.
Which is a whole nother level of something, getting in touch with your emotion, because unfortunately, guys, men, boys are taught to not, show your emotion, man up and all that, which is not realistic, because we're all human beings and you're given emotions for a reason, because then that's how relationships, and not just men, women, just in any relationship, that's how you stay in touch with who you really are. Absolutely. You have emotions for a reason. And I think that's such a disservice to teach a guy or man or boy to not you know, express their
Channel
emotions.
emotions,
Yeah.
yeah,
That is
absolutely.
so awesome. I mean, so with that, you created a book, wrote a book. What is it?
Mind Your Manners with Mr. Lovings.
Mind Your Manners with Mr. Lovings.
Yes.
So we're in the editing process.
Right, we're in the editing process.
Okay.
Then I'll be going straight to print and pushing it on out. So it's coming now.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, but you know, it's been a journey. The book should have been out in January, but I was I was pushed by another friend of mine who she's out here. She's an entrepreneur. She pushes. She does vlogs and things of this nature, and she's on Facebook and Instagram every day, all day. That's her business.
Right.
So she I ain't gonna lie. She encouraged me. She said, "Shawn, don't be one of these Negroes out here who always doing good in the hood, but you ain't got nothing to offer." I literally, before they came out, before Karen Greer interviewed me for what I was doing.
Karen Greer on the news.
Yeah, they came out.
Like,
They came out to my school to interview me and my principal. Interview for what I've been doing with the kids, and also my after school program. And she was like, "Look, here you finna have an opportunity. I'm gonna need you to have something to offer." So I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "I thought this was cool." She was like, "Oh, it's cool, but you're not gonna be able to present any." When you get this opportunity again, you have to be able to maximize it. I knew better. I just wasn't thinking because I had so much stuff going on. So I literally got somebody to do a mock cover before the interview so I could talk about it, they could put it up and everything. So I was like, all right, now it's up. I done revamped it, and now the pages are done. The book is basically based off of my family. It's a legacy book, honestly, for my family. Like my grandmother, I'm in a book, and my grandmother, she taught me how to set the table during Thanksgiving. Okay. So it's surrounded around that. Gotcha. And, you know, like for instance, my mom's name is Carolyn. So Carolyn the Cup. Oh. Now, y'all keep in mind, I'm educating K through 5. So don't be saying, why you got a cup? Why ain't no glass? Because I had somebody do that and want to tell me that I'm improper for what I'm doing. I'm like, no, it's for kids.
Gotcha.
How many kids you got drinking out of a glass?
Not my glasses, right?
So they drink out of a cup. So this book is geared toward K through 5. You know, yes, about 4th, 5th grade kids drinking out of glass, but I'm really, really trying to just have fun with this and create this whole thing and teach kids through my life lessons. So the utensils are finding themselves to the table for Thanksgiving and set it to help me because my grandmother has surprised me with the fact that I'm going to set the table. I'm like, I'm nervous as heck. Right. You want me to do what? I gotta set. See, you don't realize that when you set one place setting, the other one's just like it. That, right. But when you thinking about it as a kid, you're like, I gotta do all of this. Right. It's overwhelming. Right. So that's what the book is going to pretty much kind of be, you know, just teaching you that, and that it's not overwhelming, and it's just me being nervous to do a job that my grandmother asked me to do. And, you know, that's pretty much it. Like, oh, so I had said like Carla the Cup. My cousins, Fred Jr., Fred Sr. are the Forks. Aww. So Freddie the Forks, salad fork, dinner fork. And his mom, also my cousin Nita the napkin. Oh, you know, that's too my cute. Daughter Sierra the spoon. You know, so it was kind of crazy how my family members' first initials play into what each utensils would be. You know, my grandmother's name is Ann. My grandfather is Lester. So those are the foundations. So Lester's the table, and Ann's the chair. She's the comforter. So she's the one that keeps us stable. You know, so I just kind of try to use all those things that my family did for me, and create that legacy piece. Right. That people get to also have a piece of my family.
Building you're now letting it out and giving it and gifting other. So now, can we pre-order the book at least?
Not yet. Okay. I'm in the process of setting all that up. I got the website I'm putting together, and I got to get all my other collateral material. So not yet.
So we want to make sure on Elevate the Good Facebook page and everything else. So we want to make sure we know all your information. Absolutely. We're gonna get your website and all that. So we're definitely gonna be able to put that out there.
But you can follow the nonprofit part of the website and still see what I do. MyStyleMatters.org. Okay. You know, you can see the programs and the kids that I touched, and you know, also what my business partner Tia does, what we do on the cancer side. Because she don't get it twisted. I help on the cancer side. She helps on the side too. Yes. And she said her expertise in her area is, you know, she's definitely an advocate for cancer, going to Capitol Hill, doing her thing with all of that.
She's doing
and
it
then
too.
Over here, I deal with the kids. That's my area.
I need to get Tia.
So yeah,
I need to get Tia. She's doing some stuff.
She's doing some amazing stuff.
Some amazing things.
Oh, we got some amazing stuff coming down the pipe too.
So speaking of that, what's next? I know you got some events coming up. So
we got so much going on.
So we can all get all this off their website. Then you have Lure for the Cure.
Lure for the Cure. That's October 3rd. It's a partnership that we have with my man Lewis. He did an event last year, which was really incredible. So he wanted to this time partner with us to work with the same thing. It's about awareness, breast cancer awareness. You know, he's been touched by it, and he just sees the hard work that Tia puts in and how we came together with the introduction. It was like, man, let's do something together, man. And he was like, absolutely, let's do it. And here we are now. It's going to be October the 3rd. We have VIP tickets. I think those things are like $35. Of course, you get heavy hors d'oeuvres and Tito's. Just signed on. I mean, I know you want to talk about.
I know.
Hold on. I know you don't want to be like, hold on. They're doing a cancer event. They got like, well, it's a mixer. It's a fundraiser mixer.
Right.
So I mean, you know, just
be responsible.
Everybody be responsible for everything you do. So
what you
don't make me come to your refrigerator and tell you, oh, that's wrong.
Right.
Oh, that's wrong.
Right.
So don't. I mean, people want to cast stones. I'm like, but when I come to your house, you got all that in your house.
Right.
You know, I get it, but no, you don't have to partake.
You don't have to partake.
You know what I'm saying? So it's still about you managing you, not everyone else. I get that you like, you know, I hate to be like that, but no, they're part of our fundraiser, so they're giving back to help us be able to do some really nice things in the community.
Because that's it's at the Ivy and Buckhead, correct?
Yes, Ivy and Buckhead, absolutely.
And then your next one is Hoops for Breast Cancer.
Right, that's an event that we're trying to put together teams to come out. So if you got some fellas out there, you know, if y'all want to fall out for a good cause, come to our website www.mystylemanagers.com and check out the flyer. Sign up your team. You know,
and that's October 19th, Eastside High School. Okay. So now, with all that said, I know you just love life. Oh, you enjoy life out on your Facebook page. You out there kicking it, doing your thing. You enjoy even it when you're by yourself. You cook these wonderful, delicious meals, like you on a date by yourself with yourself.
Right.
Hey, you do cater, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I cater small, intimate events. I can't do a large one. The most I've done was 150.
This man is cooking, y'all. I'm telling you, it's beautiful too. So how do we get in touch with you for that?
Really? Man, I kind of hate to put my phone number out.
Don't put your phone number. I mean, can you just do it through Facebook or like
Facebook,
Messenger or something?
Yeah, inbox me through that because honestly, it's a hobby thing for me.
Right.
I am partnered with a partner who is a trained chef, but at the same time, it's like she's like my sister too, Christian, and so I do have the autonomy to come in and bring her credentials to do anything on a large scale.
Gotcha.
But you know, most friends and other people who've secured me to do work for them, they just hit me up like, "Hey man, I love what you're doing. I ain't never taste your food, but it looks good.
It looks good because you just did something with your alums
my alumni from Jackson State, man.
Right.
You know, we had about anywhere between like 150, 200 people over at the house. You know, it was me and my boy Jermaine. We laid it out. You know, he did a lot of the crab stuff. I'm allergic to seafood, but you'll find me now doing shrimp and grits. I'm like, hey, I asked people, this is crazy that I just kind of jumped around a little bit.
That's okay.
Like, I don't eat shrimp. I'm allergic to shellfish. So people were like, you know, I want some shrimp and grits. And I'm like, man, I know how to make sauces, but I don't know what that tastes like. Right. So I've done like about 3 or 4 events now where I've done shrimp and grits.
Okay.
And I asked them, I'm like, I'm nervously asking like, so how was the shrimp and grits? They're like, oh, it was amazing. I'm like,
boom.
I'm like, and I sometimes say because I'm allergic to it, I can't eat it. They're like, are you serious? Like you just made this and you didn't taste it? I'm like, I don't measure. I just make it.
Yeah.
And so it's like people always ask me, can you send me that recipe? I'm like, girl, look here. I'm like your grandma, baby. A pinch of this, a dash of that. I know how much to put based upon how much it is.
Quantity,
so it's not like I'm in here with a spoon and making a cake, because a cake you have to measure and so forth. Like for me, cooking other food, it's like I pan sear it. I know I put some seasoning on it. I blacken it. I know how to do it. So I know that taste is there. So when I start adding the sauces, wine, I have to learn how to do sauces.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a trial and error thing for me. taste as I go. Need a little salt? Yeah, need a little more salt.
Hey,
Right.
whatever makes you happy. Because I'm like that too. I put a little this and that, and I'm a plant-based eater. But if I invite people over, I try to incorporate some meat stuff, and people are always amazed, like, you actually cooked it. I'm like, yeah, I didn't taste it, because I do remember how it tasted as opposed to, and I don't ever measure, so I get that. But you get that pleasure out of other people getting pleasure out of your food. And then that's so again, elevating the good. That's what you do. Elevate the good. Elevate the good. So again, tell me all the ways that we can contact you.
All right. Okay. From the business side, you can contact us at www.mystylematters.org.
Okay.
That's the nonprofit.
Okay.
Personally, you can hit me on Shawn Lovings, My Style Matters. That's where you'll find me. Now, Shawn Lovings, Facebook.
Okay.
A Gentleman, 365 on Instagram.
Ooh.
So those are basically the two outlets. This Twitter thing, I have a Twitter handle. I don't know how to work it. My business partner,
you like me, it's social
it's
media.
just too much.
Right.
And Twitter is overwhelming to me, but Twitter is great because of the companies who actually, you can literally tweet to the companies, they will respond.
See.
Because that's one thing I've learned through, because Tia has done that. Like, she had a problem with something. Oh, they hit her right up.
They tweet back and forth.
They would get. That's through the companies like Instagram and all that. It's a shot in the dark.
Right.
But that Twitter is
do
serious.
I learned something today.
Yeah, no doubt. So if you really got issues and you want to get something in front of a company, or you got a discrepancy of some sort, and she did. She had a discrepancy, and she hit them up with it, and they responded right back. Okay. I was like, okay.
So you're still over here elevating the good. I'm learning something today.
Learn something.
Shawn Lovings.
Yes.
And you are an embodiment of your name, Lovings, because you just love everything and you put it into everything you do. Yes. I appreciate you. I just really needed your energy today. Girl, and I am so excited. We got that St. Louis vibe going.
STL, baby.
Yes, what we do. But I am so grateful for you. I really am. I'm going to keep my eye out for all the things that you're doing. Definitely for that book.
Hey,
because I do outreach stuff. So I actually just started a library on behalf of Elevate the Good at the Fountain of Hope organization. So I will be getting books to put into the library, and it's not even a library. It's a place where the kids can actually come through and take books home. So it's not even about like really a library. So I will make sure I get some of your books to so these kids can take them home and read them and get their etiquette on. Thank you for elevating the good. I am so happy that you made it through. Y'all make sure you check them out. Say what? Elevate the good.
Elevate the good. Elevate the good.
Elevate the good. Bye. Good job.
Absolutely.
We've come to the end of a good time. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you're feeling elevated. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel, and ring that bell below for episode notifications. Until next time, remember to elevate the good, elevate the good, elevate the good, elevate the good. Bye!